Okay, so this was the practice for translation. I'm going to skip through 1 through 6. Number 1 and 2 are yes, those were isometric figures, and number 3 was no. Number 4, 5, and 6 was simply saying which sides were congruent. I don't think we needed to go through that. So here's 7 through 12. This is the bulk of the problems. This is what we need to know how to do. Okay, so it's telling us that we want to find each image under the given translation. So they're giving us the pre-image. Okay, we want to find the image here. Okay, so let's start. We want to take our 3 vertices here. Okay, so this vertex is -1, 2. According to our mapping notation, we want to shift it 3 units to the right and 2 units up. So the easiest way to do this is just count them out. 1, 2, or to the right, 1, 2, 3, up 2, and it's going to be right there. The other way we can do this is we can put this into the mapping notation. So x gets mapped to x plus 3. So -1 is going to get mapped to -1 plus 3, which is 2. Okay. Y is 2, so 2 is going to get mapped to 2 plus 2, which is 4. And if we look, we should be at 2, 4, which is where we're at. Okay. The next point on there, let's look at this one over here. That is -9, 3. Okay. If we use the mapping notation, -9 is our x value. Okay, if you don't fully understand what I'm doing here, go back and look at the translation notes video. Okay, but basically what we're doing is we're putting in, we'll just do it here. That's fine. Okay, so -9, 3, this then becomes -9 plus 3. And this becomes y, or 3 plus 2. The y value is 3, so the y becomes a 3. X is -9, so x becomes -9. This then becomes -6, 5. Or we can just take the point. Okay. And we can go 3 units to the right, 2 units up. This point should be -6, 5. And it is. Okay. Then our last point is going to be -5, -1. So we have -5, -1. Oops, we wanted that. That was important. Okay, so that's going to go to -5 plus 3. -1 plus 2. Okay, which is going to give us -2 and +1. -5 plus 3 is -2. -1 plus 2 is 1. So that is -2, 1. Which is right here. Okay, again, the other way we could have shifted over. It should be well, that's -6. I'm sorry. It should be -6. So this is -6. So this is -6. So that is -3. Okay, this should have been -6, -1. So -6 plus 3 is -3. Parentheses. So it should be here. Okay, and that should be 1, 2, 3 to the right, up 2. We can connect our dots, our vertices now. Okay. And our image, it should be the same size and shape as our pre-image. We just shifted all the points, 3 to the right, up 2. These were the original vertices. These are the new vertices. Number 8. Okay, 8, 9, 10 are all going to be like number 7. Okay, so let's look at we're going to have 4 points here. Okay, I'm just going to do these all in red, I think. Okay, that is -1, 2. Okay. This one is going to be 5, -1. Okay. This one is going to be -4, -1. And this one down here is 2, -4. Okay, so we want to shift all of those points 5 units to the right, shift it horizontally to the right 5 units, and down 1 unit. Okay. So we can put these all into the equations, or we can count them. Okay, so if we put them into the equation, that's -1 plus 5 gives us 4. 2 minus 1 gives us a 1. Okay. So we should have a point at 4, 1. Okay. 5, -1 is this one. Okay, we want to shift it 5 units to the right. So 5 plus 5. Okay, and we want to shift it -1 units to the left. To down. Okay, so we put in the -1. So that becomes 10, comma -2. Okay. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. -2 would be right here or somewhere there. Okay, -4 plus 5. -1 minus 1. That's going to give us +1, -2. Okay, +1, -2. And our last one here is 2, -4. So we're going to put in 2. That's going to give us 7. Here we're going to put in -4. That's going to give us a -5. So 7, -5 is right here, a little bit off the page. Okay, and again, we didn't need to substitute all of those in here. Okay, we could have just counted each of them, 5 to the right, 1 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right, 1 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right, 1 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right, 1 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right, 1 down. Okay, and then we can connect our dots, and we have our image. So again, same size and shape. All we've done is shifted it 5 at all the points, 5 units to the right, and then 1 unit down. So all the points on the sides that we don't have labeled, they all went 5 units to the right. So this right here went 5 units to the right, and then 1 unit down. Let's go to number 9. Okay, same thing here. I'm just going to count. I think that way is a lot easier. So if we have this, we got 4 vertices here. First one is, let's use this one, 5. Well, I'll put them over here because we're going the other way. 5, -5, +3. Here we have -5, 0. Okay, down here we have 1, -3. And then we have -2, 3. So we want to find where all those points are getting mapped to or translated to by our mapping notation here, our translation. Okay, -5, 3. So we want to go left 2 and up 5. That's going to be off the page. Everything's going up 5. That's going to be a little bit difficult here. Let me go this way. Okay, so here's our 4 points. Okay, so we're going left 2, up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, somewhere up here. Okay, this one we're going left 2, 1, 2, and up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we're going left 2, 1, 2, and up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we're going left 2, 1, 2, and up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we connect them. Again, we should have the same shape. Every point here has just been shifted 2 units to the left, 5 units up. Okay, if we want to find the new points, again, we can just look at the coordinate. So that would be -7. What's hard without the grid marks? I think that was 3 up. So that's 8, but let's just check it by putting it in. So -5 minus 2 is -7. Yep, and it should be 8. 3 is our y value, so 3 plus 5 is 8. -5 is our x value, so -5 minus 2 is -7. Y value is 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. Okay, x value is 1. 1 minus 2 is -1. Y value is -3. -3 plus 5 is 2. That's that point right there. Okay, and x is -2, so -2 minus 2 is -4. Y is 3. 3 plus 5 is 8. So we have all of our 4 points. Okay. Number 10. This is going to the right. No, it's going left. Up 3. Okay, again, we're going to be off the page a little. That's okay, though. Okay, so our 4 points here, we're going to have 0, -3.5. Let's just call it 3.5. Here we're going to have 2, -6. Whoops. Let me shift this over a bit, actually. I can't. Okay. So 0, -3.5. 2, -6. 3, 1. This one was 9, -3. I guess I can fill it in there. Okay. So first one, 0, -3.5. Again, we want to go left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And up 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, if we put that in our equation, we know 0 minus 4 is -4. -3.5 plus 3 is -0.5. Okay. To -6, we want to go left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 3. 1, 2, 3. That should be -2, -3. Let's check it. 2 minus 4 is -2. -6 plus 3 is -3. Okay. 9, -3 is right here. So 4 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 3. 1, 2, 3. We should get 5, 0. Let's check it. 9 minus 4 is 5. -3 plus 3 is 0. Okay, last one, 3, 1. Again, we want to go 4 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And up 3. 1, 2, 3. That should be -1, 4. Let's check it. 3 minus 4 is -1. 1 plus 3 is 4. Okay. So our new image, connect our dots. It should be the same size and shape. We simply shifted it up 3 units, and we shifted it left 4 units. Left 4 units, up 3. So that's the first way to go. Second way to go is they're going to give us the translated figure, and we need to figure out what the mapping notation is going to be, what the rule is. Okay, what our rule is. Okay, so here we're given 2 points. Let's call this one negative. Well, it's not. It is negative 1, 3. This one over here is 4, 2. Okay. And then down here in blue, we're going to have 0, 0, and 5, negative 1, 5, negative 1. Okay. So the question tells us that the red is the pre-image and the blue is the image. So we're getting the image from the red one. So we're translating the top one here to get the image on the bottom here. So the question is, how much are we shifting it? Horizontally, how much are we shifting it vertically? So we're just doing translation, we're not flipping or anything. So we know we're just shifting it over and down. So we know this left point, this left endpoint is going to be the same left endpoint. So we're going from negative 1, 3 to 0, 0. So how much are we shifting horizontally when we're going from negative 1 to 0? Negative 1 to 0, we're shifting to the right 1. If we're shifting to the right 1, okay, so that's our original xy coordinate. Okay, if we're shifting to the right 1, that's x plus 1. Right. So if we shift this all over 1, it's going to look like this. Okay, we shifted it over 1. Now we want to shift it down. So we have to go down 3. So we went plus 1 to the right, down 3. Plus 1 to the right, down 3, that's y minus 3. Okay, so this is the notation we have to use to write our rule. So we pick a point on the first one, x, y. Any represents any point on that red line, that red segment. Okay, and to find where it gets translated to, we need to use the mapping notation of x plus 1, y minus 3. So you pick any point on the segment, substitute it in here, and it'll tell you where it's at. Let's try them just to make sure. So negative 1, 3. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. 3 minus 3 is 0. Okay, substitute in the other point, 4, 2. So x is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. Y is 2. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. Number 12. The last one here. Okay, same thing. We're going from red to blue. So how do we get from red to blue? Again, our notation is going to be x comma y. We're in the xy plane. Every point on the red triangle has an x coordinate and a y coordinate. We want to see where the x coordinate gets mapped to and where the y coordinate gets mapped to. So it's going to be x something, y something, depending on what our horizontal and vertical shifts are. Okay. Our horizontal shift, okay, we can pick any point we want on the triangle. It's easiest to pick the points that are already at whole number coordinates. So right here, this is negative 3, 1. So that, since we're just shifting it, it's going to get shifted to here, which is negative 2, 0. So how do we get from negative 3 to negative 2? We shift it positive 1 to the right, and we shift it down 1. 1 to the right, down 1. 1 to the right, down 1. 1 to the right, down 1. You can even pick points in the middle. Down to the right, or to the right 1, down 1. To the right 1, down 1. Okay. To the right 1, down 1. Okay, so our notation there is x plus 1. Xy maps to x plus 1, y minus 1. X maps to x plus 1, y maps to y minus 1. Okay, so that is the 7 through 12 practice problems. Translation.